Ross Bolen Podcast.
You better listen.
Gang, gang, gang. Brought to you by Bolen Media. RBP, 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 Ross Bolen.
Check.
Welcome to episode 231 of the Ross Bolen Podcast, otherwise known as RBP 231, presented by Bolen Media. I am your host, Ross Bolen, and today I'm joined in the studio by my co-host, Jared Borislow. Jared, how are you?
It's raining animals outside, Ross.
Did you hear that thunder just now?
Yeah, I wonder if it got picked up on the mics.
Thunder arouses me.
In what way? Like the,
All of the
the
ways.
vibrations kind of shake your body?
Yeah, I just feel fucking alive.
Yeah.
When there's thunder and lightning going out there, I just know, the electricity in the air.
I'm from the lightning capital of the world, Tampa Bay, Florida.
Is it actually the lightning capital of the world?
That's why we call the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I believe it goes back and forth now with maybe Eastern Russia or some really weird part of the globe. But Tampa Bay Lightning, it's known. It is
You
known.
guys are in a battle for lightning capital of the world with some undisclosed
Yeah.
Eastern Russian obscure mountain town.
When I was young, they used to do these lightning days, and we'd all walk outside and hold golf clubs up in the air.
Oh, yeah.
To try to get more lightning
Well-
to beat the Russian states. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the thing. It's like you guys believe that God should pick out which one of you gets to live and which one of you gets to die with lightning.
Oh, yeah.
And you just send all the children out into a field holding up metal sticks, and then it's just natural selection, but in a really quick fashion.
It's kind of like Shirley Jackson's The Lottery, but in Tampa, Florida with lightning.
I don't understand that
Mike
reference,
liked it, though.
but I
Mike
appreciate it because producer Mike laughed. I know it was good.
He said he went to college. That's
Jared,
very common.
We have reached the strange time of the year with the thunder and the lightning now as well being added into the mix in Texas between summer and fall. It's technically fall.
Doesn't feel like
It's
it.
October 15th, but it doesn't feel like it. We get these little weird tease days, some days where it feels like it's time to bust out the fall wardrobe and ball out. Because everybody knows with cooler weather, you can dress much more baller. You can layer up. You can have fancy scarves.
My only cool clothes are fall clothes. I
Right.
I dress like trash a lot.
This is me every day in the summer.
Wearing an
fucking
Astros?
Well, no. Today I'm in the Astros gear because we're literally in the bottom of the ninth as we speak. Because this umpire took 2 baseballs to the face, and they were like, "Okay, we have an umpire delay." It cost me about 20 minutes, and as a result, the 9th inning is happening right now. So I'm in my full Astros uniform, and those on Twitch.com/BossRollin can actually see us and me in my full outfit because we're broadcasting live right now. So shouts to everybody on Twitch. Hi. And for those of you who are not on Twitch or don't give a shit about watching live video, the actual video after the fact will be available in one place, patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. But as I was saying, I feel like we get these weird tease days. You can bust out your fall wardrobe. The next day it's back to 95 degrees and it's chicken leg season again, and I'm out here in shorts and it's just it's tough. And I am admittedly ready for the full-blown fall and the layering up time of the year because this is a new thing for me, man. Only in the last couple years, really, maybe 4 years, did I learn how to dress properly for cold weather and not look like a fucking idiot. The majority of doofuses in Texas, it gets cold 3 days a year. You just pull a jacket out of the closet, you put it on, you go outside, and you look like a dumbass. And they don't care, and we don't care really, but I've started to care a little bit, and I'm ready. I want full-blown fall. You went to school in Wisconsin.
I did.
So you're familiar with cold weather.
I mean, yeah, it was cold most of the time. We would get back to school around in between August 1st and August 15th, depending on when your lease started. And it would be it would be super nice weather. It would be really, really hot for all of August and the beginning of September. Then it would get perfect for about 3 days. And then it was terrifyingly cold.
What's the coldest it ever got?
negative 48 with wind chill.
Oh wow, that's way lower than I was expecting. That actually
Yes.
just made me kind of uncomfortable
So here's what happened
in
that
my
day.
body.
So Minnesota, the Pansies at the University of Minnesota, they canceled class.
Oh, I love Minnesota as a state.
Oh no, it's a good state. I have nothing
I don't
against
give
the
a shit
state
about
of
the school.
Minnesota. It's a school.
I don't know.
like
I
the
didn't
school.
even know the school existed, frankly.
Yeah. So
Till just now.
those cowards,
I know.
they canceled class, and we only canceled class in the morning because it was like really cold.
And in Austin, we cancel class if it drops below 50.
And we canceled class. I think they cancel class for any time it's below 50 and there's a drop of rain, right?
Oh yeah, they're like, no. These roads are unsafe. Can't be and frankly, they're right. The Austin drivers are so terrible.
Yeah.
We can't be trusted on the roads. I can personally, but we as a people, we cannot.
Remember we had an intern who didn't come into the office when it was like, wasn't it 45?
And she was like, "Yeah, sorry,
It's freezing rain. It's like
Weather
it's not
day.
even, it's not even freezing. The rain can't freeze.
it's 13 degrees above that. Not even fucking close. That's a big drop.
That's a standard
That's a big boy
deviation.
drop.
That's a standard.
Is it?
I don't know. I don't know what that
That is a
What-
standard deviation.
I don't know if it is.
It
though.
is. It's what we're going with.
Yeah.
My
for
point.
Sure.
My point was this, Jared. You are well known as a trash dresser.
I mean, I wouldn't
You
say
are.
I'm not known as a good dresser.
Would you say you have a reputation,
Okay. Here's what happened.
fashion-wise,
I made a
in a negative
bit.
sense?
Yes, because I made a bit out of it. It's kind of
Yes,
different.
that's fair. That's fair. So let's explain that. At our old company where Jared and I worked, it was this like running joke and bit because Jared had been an intern from a very young age in college. With college fashion is pretty much what he's clung to.
I'm wearing
and-
Sperry's right now.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
we can show them to literally that's
Yeah,
what
so
I'm wearing.
as others of us at the company who were 5, 6, 7, 8 years ahead of Jared in life were phasing out of like frat clothing, we just started making fun of you for it, and it slowly became this bit. And also, you admitted to like buying like
I'll say it. I know what you're thinking of. So this is real, and I did this a decent amount, and
It'd be weird if it wasn't real.
the fancy, in my opinion, very high-end sporting goods store, Sports Authority.
Astros won. Fuck the Yankees.
There you go. Sports Authority went out of business probably around 4 years ago, and the local
Huge bummer.
I mean, it's like, well, we got Dick's now, we got Academy.
Some places, dude, but even those are few and far
Yeah.
between. But it's one of those things like Best Buy where it's just fun to hang out in there and like fuck
Yeah.
with the putters.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody would go in there and putt.
Let's just go putt.
You go and like touch the metal cleats, like maybe just to feel something. I don't know. Yeah,
You
feel
look
me.
at some of the fucking like weird Skechers cleats to pretend that like, oh yeah, I might buy some of these Skechers golf cleats. You're not gonna buy some of those Skechers golf
Yeah.
cleats, you fucking idiot. Go back to your regular Nikes and shut up.
Yeah, and so, well, when all these sports authorities were going out of business, they would take out all the clothes, put them in the front of the store on racks labeled like 40% off, 60% off, 80% off, and a lot of the clothes, I think, were decently high quality. And so I got known because I at one point probably owned about 6 golf polos that I bought at a sports authority going out of business sale, and I would wear them to work. I would say, honestly, for the first 2 years I worked at our old company, I probably wore an old golf polo like at least 3 days a week.
Yo, it shouldn't be this funny, you shopping off the discount rack. But for some reason it
I got called clearance rack. That was my nickname.
it coinciding with your personality
Yeah.
and like your general look is there's just something to it that makes it the funniest thing in the world to me. So yeah, we've been calling you like clearance rack Jared for I don't know, for like
Yes.
5 years ish.
It's funny because that's like my summer attire. I actually have like nice winter clothes that I break out, like, you know, nice button downs and like corduroys and khakis.
Yeah, no, I've seen you like
Yeah,
swagged
yeah.
out in an actual man outfit, but I've also seen you 99% of the year in clearance rack Jared clothing,
Yeah.
which is hilarious to me. So it's just like weird that you also have the full scale skill set to dress for winter.
Yeah. I've been wearing these shoes I'm wearing right now, I'd say like 5 days a week since 2017.
Do you have any plans on deviating from that standardization of shoe?
I did.
And you failed?
Yes. I actually thought today, so because I've worn these shoes so many times, I don't know how this happened. So Sperry's have leather laces. The laces have begun to corkscrew while tied. Doesn't make sense, right? Like if you look, they're spun around in circles. And so these shoes come untied. Each one individually comes untied at least once a day. Never at the same time, so it means I have to tie my shoes at least twice a day. Opposite shoe, obviously.
No, I remember having this problem 15 years ago.
Yeah, so I've considered super glue, and I have not done it.
Just wear actual shoes.
Well, yeah, but I slip these on. I don't need socks. I don't like socks. I'm from Florida. Here's the thing. A lot
but
of
you
people
have
think
gross feet.
I don't have gross feet. You
Jared,
don't never see my
have,
feet.
We both have hobbit feet, bro.
I don't have hobbit feet.
You have hairy hobbit feet.
I don't have. My feet are not that hairy or hobbit.
Then you wax your feet.
I don't wax them.
You're a feet hair denier.
I have a little bit of hair where like I feel like it's normal to have hair in your feet.
A self-loathing, hairy-footed.
So being from Florida, I have worn Sperry's since junior year of high school. So it's not just like a college frat thing for me. It's like I've actually done this now for 10 years.
I don't think that makes it better.
Does it make it worse?
It might. It might. But Jesus, this is the intro. If you're new to the Ross Bolen Podcast, almost every episode of our show is broken down into segments, which you can find below with time cues in the description. Of course, this is the intro. Sometimes we have a lot of randomness, and we like to have some personal anecdotes and stuff in it, so that's that. Now, some episodes also might have special guests or special topics, in which case maybe there will be exceptions to the rule, and they won't be so segmented. But the general idea, most of our episodes are going to be segmented so that you can consume them at your own pace as you see fit based on your, work schedule or your personal life. I don't know if you're a fucking doctor and you work the night shift and you get 1 hour a day to listen or something. I don't know. I don't know what your circumstances are, but I appreciate each and every one of you for listening. And if you're brand new here, you don't have to have listened to a single one of the pre-existing, 230 episodes now in order to enjoy RBP 231. But when you have the time, if you enjoyed today's show, go back. There are 230 backlogged episodes for you to soak in. So hit them up.
For you to what in?
Soak.
Okay.
Yeah. Hashtag soak. What is it? Mormon soak? Is that the one that's hilarious?
Yeah, that's the
Where
common internet trope.
But it's an actual thing, is it not?
I don't know. I've never done it.
It's because you can't really Google it to like find out if it's real, because you end up on like places you don't want to end up.
Yeah, and the videos you're gonna find are probably people staging it because they know people are Googling it. It's all about the click culture. You know how the internet is.
Yeah, screw it. We're about 200 yards from a church, but I'll Google it. My college girlfriend thought the Mormon soak would. Yeah, we're not gonna do this. Okay, I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. No. But it theoretically is when you insert the penis for sexual coitus and then you just soak.
Yeah.
No motion, no thrusting, no pelvic thrusting.
It's not the motion of the ocean. It's the stasis of the basis.
Yes, of course it is. On Instagram,
Don't know if that made
follow us on Instagram at the Ross Bolen Podcast, where every day we fill up our story with photos and videos sent in by our listenership. I just did our story for the day on the way over here in my Uber, Jared. On Instagram.
Great.
You can go look at it when we're done recording. Aren't you excited?
That's awesome.
I know
man.
you are. Where else? On Twitter, at Ross Bolen Pod. And we're on Facebook. You can find us if you're the middle-aged aunt of one of our listeners. RBP 231 is brought to you by Lisa. Your mattress may very well be the most important purchase you make for your home. In fact, I would argue it's the most important, right in front of your living room television. So you have to ask yourself, is my mattress kind of shitty? Do I wake up every morning feeling like I had the most comfortable sleeping experience possible? And if the answer is no, I have your solution right now. And it's Lisa, our longest running sponsor here on RBP. In fact, Lisa knows how important rest is to a better life. Lisa is the foundation of a healthier, happier you. And to Lisa, a bed is more than just a place to sleep. It's a place for rest and relaxation. They want to make your whole bedroom into a sanctuary you actually want to spend time in. Their most advanced luxury hybrid mattress is the one that I have. It's made with premium foams and springs for enhanced pressure relief with edge-to-edge support. It's fantastic, thoughtfully designed with the best of both worlds. Lisa believes all people should have access to deep rest and relaxation, and as such, they make it easy for their customers to know they've made the right choice through their social impact initiatives tied to each purchase. They donate 1 mattress for every 10 they sell through organizations that work in causes like foster care prevention. To date, they have donated more than 33,000 mattresses through more than 1,000 nonprofits. Lisa mattresses are made in the USA. In-home delivery and setup is available. Financing is also available. Don't miss out. RBP gang, live healthier. Live happier by resting deeper. Order today and get 15% off any mattress for a limited time at lisa.com/RBP. Use the promo code RBP. That's LEESA.com/RBP. Promo code RBP. And keep in mind, you also get a 100-night risk-free trial plus free shipping and returns. Jerry, do you have any announcements you'd like to make at the top of the show?
Yes. I'd like to thank our other sponsor, Ham.
Who's Ham? Oh, General Ham. Just regular ham.
The Ham Lobby.
Uh-huh.
They paid me buku
To say
bucks.
this?
Yes, much money.
Well, I'm going to need my cut out of that Ham.
Cut a ham.
Give me that ham. Give me that cut of ham money. Ham money. Oh, if you have
Ham.
T-shirt designs.
It's what's ham?
It's what's for dinner?
It's what's ham.
Okay. If you have T-shirt designs, if you want to contribute to our first ever batch of T-shirts that we're going to drop in time for Christmas, merch in time for Christmas, hit me up, Ross at rossbolenpodcast.com if you want to be one of our design interns. If you have video skills, you've seen our social media, you see the videos we make for our promotion of our episodes, little clips and shit. If you've got the ability to make those, holler at me as well, Ross at rossbolenpodcast.com. I don't have any amends today. I don't have any further announcements, birthday shout-outs, anything like that. So it's time to get into our first segment, Jared. LeBron James versus Daryl Morey.
I feel like you don't have a hot take on this. I feel like you're going to be very run-of-the-mill. Yeah.
I appreciate that hype in advance of this. Last week, you and I discussed the beginnings of this on RBP 229. We discussed the situation that was unfolding as a result of the Houston Rockets general manager, Daryl Morey, who LeBron calls Morey, Daryl Morey.
Like an eel.
Morey.
Which is funny because LeBron's the eel here. Am I right, Ross?
He's a slippery one. Oh, my God. He was a guest on our 148th episode.
LeBron.
No, Daryl. Not the eel. LeBron. No, Daryl. Yes. Anyway, Daryl tweeted support for Hong Kong in their ongoing political struggle with mainland China. It's a very complicated situation. Honestly, one that I'm not fully versed on. And when I've had it explained to me or read about it, I'm like, what? It's complicated. There's a lot there.
There's a lot of good podcasts on the Daily. They have some good podcasts about it.
Good.
If anybody wants to get informed.
There you go. Good place to learn. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll become less ignorant.
Maybe.
Probably not, though. Immediately after Daryl Morey sent out this tweet in support of Hong Kong, Rockets owner Tillman Fertitta took to Twitter to ensure his followers that Daryl does not speak for the Houston Rockets, that they are just a basketball team over in China to play basketball, and they do not take part in political shit. And the NBA's response to the controversy was essentially to say Daryl messed up and take a non-stance, which essentially is a pro-China stance because they're worried about the money.
Yeah.
And everybody in this situation, for those of you who are completely unaware of the NBA, they have built a massive following in China, which has
multi-billion-dollar.
Oh yeah, 3 billion citizens, right? They've got a ton of people.
I don't think they have 3.
I think so.
They do not. They've got like 1.8.
Dude, I swear to God, I think it's 2.8 now. 1.386. I was so fucking close. 1.4 billion citizens. I doubled the size of China in one fell swoop. No, but 1.4 billion citizens. A lot of people to consume our NBA product, to watch basketball.
It's almost 3 billion people.
It is almost 3 billion. It's very close. To buy LeBron James's shoes, to buy jerseys, to purchase Rockets season tickets and NBA League Pass so that they can watch in China. And this became a much bigger thing, specifically with the Houston Rockets when Yao Ming joined the team, being the first ever huge Chinese superstar, first Chinese player ever in the NBA, I believe, and then superstar definitely. And Yao became a huge part of the Houston Rockets franchise and culture and was the face of the organization for years and years.
He was also a huge part of my NBA Street 2 team.
Was he really?
Yeah, I beat his team, and then I got to select a player on his team, and obviously I chose him because the rest of the people were fake AI players.
And yeah, he was 7'6".
Yeah, that's also a huge reason why I picked him.
Yes, very, very, very tall, which was a massive advantage in basketball.
Yeah.
Height.
Taco Fall. Is he taller?
Yeah. No, I think they're both 7.
But
I think they're close.
Taco Fall has bigger wingspan.
That man's arms. He can warm his hands in his socks. It's insane.
Is that a saying? Did you make that up?
I've heard it before.
Oh, okay.
From someone. I don't know if it's a saying. But anyway, back to our story. So, last night, this chapter gained a new page, or this book gained a new chapter.
I think both are
Both
equally as bad.
It'll be fine. They both sucked. LeBron James, the face of the NBA and perhaps of sports in America, gave his first on-camera interview since Daryl Morey's tweet. And that's the way he says it. I swear to God, it's so infuriating. And oh boy, it went horribly. And first, let me say this, Jared. In defense of LeBron James, this man has been an incredible blessing.
I feel like you always gas LeBron up.
I do.
Typically.
Because as a superstar, for the most part, he's done a great job. He doesn't get arrested. He doesn't beat his wife, to my knowledge. He seems to be a good family man and a good father. At the very least, he puts forth the impression of such, and that is a positive impact on his fan base and the NBA and the world. And I believe he's been fantastic as a representative to African Americans in America and taking part in the Black Lives Matter movement and sort of stepping into the forefront of all that. He's been very vocal about social issues and been a great leader in most ways. Now, sure, he can be a bit melodramatic, and he can come off as a bit of a pompous, wine-drinking prick sometimes. But we've been blessed with LeBron James as a cultural icon, right? Like, he's much bigger than sports now, whether you like it or not. And there are some people listening who don't. They don't like that. People don't like seeing this guy become – it's not just basketball for him anymore. It's bigger than that, and it's generational. And I understand all that. That being said, he bombed this take about as poorly as he could have. And he had a very long time to prepare for it.
He did. He had so long, some might say, that he could have just never given it and nobody would have cared.
Yes, it's almost like he overthought it, though, and had so much time that it got all tangled up in his head, and he freaked the fuck out and just bombed the interview. Or, ironically, he maybe didn't realize the importance of what he was saying and bombed the interview. And he knew the question was coming is the thing that bugs me the most.
Yeah.
And this was so unnecessary. It's like, this is being called the most disgraceful moment of his career. This is a guy who did the decision. That happened. And this, a stupid little 2-minute interview about Daryl Morey, is being called the most disgraceful moment of his career.
I have a thought on. Do you want to get into what he said, so we can? I guess if you have that on there.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So on camera, he says, "I don't want to get into a," and then he stumbles over his words a bit. He's like, "a word, verbal."
He said, "I don't want to get into a chapter of this page. I don't want to page of the chapter."
Yeah. Oh, that was me.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm not. Look, Jared, we all stumble. Why do we fall, Master Wayne?
There's a
It's so
song
that
that has
you can get back
stumble.
up.
There's a song that has stumble.
What did y'all fucking hate, Jared?
Try
Just
to walk
go-
away
If I
and
start
I
a quote,
stumble.
if I start a quote joke, you have to go with it. You can't then turn to
Macy Gray. I always turn to Macy Gray.
It
You
can't
know that.
always be Macy Gray over my joke, and then we're just a Macy Gray podcast.
Yeah. I mean,
We are a Macy Gray podcast officially as of right now.
Okay. Do I need to change the meta fields?
Not yet. We'll do it next time.
Okay.
But yeah. So on camera, I don't want to get into a verbal feud with Daryl Morey. I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand, and he spoke. And so many people could have been harmed, not only financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Don't even know what the fuck that means. So just be careful what we tweet and say and we do, even though, yes, we do have freedom of speech, but there can be a lot of negative that comes with that too. And at that point, you're like, oh, fuck me. The face of the sports just said, there can be a lot of negative that comes with freedom of speech, which is just like, dude, yes, but okay, what the fuck? You don't say that out loud, you dumbass. Especially when we're talking about a communist country here. There is no freedom of fucking speech. It's a real problem over there. They don't even have freedom of press. They got freedom of nothing. That's the problem.
Hey, if they don't have freedom of press, at least they don't have fake news. Am I right?
I guess so, but that's why we're upset, though, and he doesn't get it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
LeBron just flat out, he doesn't get it. So he continues.
Yes.
I believe, this is still on camera. I believe he was, and he looks fucking shook. You got to watch the video if you haven't seen it. I believe he was either misinformed or not really educated on the situation. And if he was, then so be it. I have no idea. But that is just my belief. Uh-oh. He's derailed. He's derailed.
He's like, okay, how can I back out of this?
He's like,
And
fuck.
with each word, he realizes he can't. And so it's like, I think what happened is he started off with a real thought, and most of his brain power started going to, oh no, I'm fucked.
Yes.
So his words stopped actually being
Dude,
good.
And that's what happens to me all the time. So I know exactly how he feels. Like, as someone who does, like, you can, if 90% of your brain goes to you're fucking up, then the other 10% is desperately clinging to the thread you were holding. And that's how you end up with so many Ron Bowler moments where I'm like, what was I talking about?
Now, with that framing in mind, can you read the last part again?
Yes. So,
picture what he's going through in his brain.
okay, I believe he was either misinformed or not really educated on the situation. And I think that's right where it hit, that he was blowing it. And if he was, then so be it. And now he's talking like Greg in Succession. And so it was, and so it shall be. He says, I have no idea, but that is just my belief. Because when you say things or do things, if you are doing it and you know the people that can be affected by it, sometimes things can be changed as well. This is just verbal diarrhea at this point. And also, social media is not always the proper way to go about things as well, but that's just my belief. So then, the beauty of this is, immediate backlash is so fucking big. Like, every athlete is like, oh, fuck. Like, I mean, big-time athletes are going, dude, what? I mean, the right wing is all the fuck over it was chaos. And so he goes to Twitter. He just said, also, social media is not always the proper way to go about things as well, but that's just my belief. And then he gets on Twitter immediately and tweets, let me clear up the confusion. I do not believe there was any consideration for the consequences and ramifications of the tweet. I'm not discussing the substance. Others can talk about that. Why are you even here, sir? You're not discussing the substance.
Here's what happened, I think. I think with his writing that tweet, I think what he did was he started it off, and then he did that thing again where he goes, oh man, I probably shouldn't send this. And while he was thinking about that, he just kept hitting predictive text on his phone, so it just kept saying words.
Others can talk about that.
Others can't talk.
Fuck it, send. No, but the beauty of it is I know there was a PR person in this man's ear going, don't do it, please shut the fuck up, no. And he was like, I can handle this, let me clean it up myself. And then another tweet follows. And this is the really, really bad one. My team and this league just went through a difficult week. I think people need to understand what a tweet or statement can do to others. And I believe nobody stopped and considered what would happen. Could have waited a week to send it. And now here's where this comes off as worse than it is. He was in China, okay?
Yes.
He and other teams are in China doing this preseason shit. He was referencing the safety of himself and his teammates and the NBA players on this trip.
Yeah.
He didn't phrase it in a way that made that clear. And it made it even easier to pile on when he said, could have waited a week to send it.
Yeah.
He just handled this as poorly as he could have. And again, this isn't even about him big picture, which we're going to get to. On Twitter, I was like, someone should ask LeBron if the 1 million Muslims in Chinese labor camps are going through a difficult week. Because even if he was over there and felt a little bit of tension, which I'm sure he did, they deal with that motherfucking shit every day. And he knows what that shit is like. He knows. He's been actively fighting for black people who experience oppression in America for a decade at least? He knows about this shit. He knows that this is not cool. And yet, he's thinking about money. That was all this is at the end of the day. It's the same reason Adam Silver didn't make a definitive statement.
Until late. And he did later. He after he realized, he was like, he tried to play the middle. He tried to be like,
which is still bad.
I like freedom of speech, but also I care about others' feelings. And then they're like, you really can't have both right now.
No, you can't. And that's the thing is like they're really trying. This is the first time I've seen the NBA in the Adam Silver era slip with social issues to where they're usually the forefront. They're the leader.
Yeah.
The NFL is like backwards fucking Kentucky hill people.
Yeah, and then the NHL, they're just like doing whatever hockey people
They're
do.
just in Canada, eh? They don't really mess with any of that politics, eh? Just don't build a wall so we can come down when we want. And then we have the NBA.
And we also have the PDGA, the Professional Disc Golf Association.
We also have the PGA where they just don't speak on anything ever because if it won't look, I'm going to throw other people under the bus. The PGA is a perfect example. Those motherfuckers are not allowed to speak on anything, ever, because they have 15 sponsors tied to every single one of their names, and the checks stop coming the second you speak, or they're scared they will. And that's the thing I have a problem with. Right over wrong is still a basic human need in terms of, like, understanding. You have to have that, or you're a worthless waste of life. Like, if you, on some level, you've got to know, okay, end of the day, push comes to shove, I know right from wrong. Or you're a sociopath and you're a fucking problem for our society and we got to do something with you. But you should know. And this is just easy, man. This is easy. Easy right from wrong when you really, and I get that nobody's been looking at it. I wasn't looking at it. I haven't been fighting for Chinese freedom for months or some shit, or like up here on the podcast every week talking about Hong Kong situation or the Muslims in the internment or the camps and labor camps or re-education camps is what they're calling them. And this is why this shit matters. Let's get into some of the things that have been reported so far. We have over 1 million Muslims in these re-education camps in China. 6 million people total-ish, somewhere around there. in re-education camps total, and they are just labor camps. It's a better name. They're putting these people to work to reteach them proper beliefs.
From what I listened to actually a daily about this. I listen to the daily a lot. I will reference it a lot, especially when it's like news.
Please do.
So I believe that it's the Uyghur Muslims who are in the western part of China.
Yeah, I never know how to pronounce that word.
Yeah, I would not have known if it was not for the podcast.
You got to hear it said. Yeah.
You do. Cannot. What's it? It's. I've only seen it written.
Yeah.
So it seems like I don't think there's really a clear picture of what actually is being done in these re-education camps. I think it's a lot of it really is like they're telling them this is how you have to act, and also maybe putting them to work. I'm really not sure. I know they are sending a lot of like older people there too, especially ones who are less set in their ways. Like the Daily, what they did was they kind of profiled this guy who he's in America, but his mom was sent to a re-education camp and has been kind of in and out.
Oh,
and
shit.
And they were like kind of holding that over him.
So they got some inside info.
And they were blackmailing him into saying like, hey, don't.
Who was they in that sentence?
The Chinese government.
Oh, cool.
Was telling him like, kind of like blackmailing him into stopping going to the press. Because
they can't have that type of information.
Yeah,
yet
like,
now.
hey, your mom will be safe if you stop going to the press. But obviously, like, I wouldn't trust that.
People associate like secretive government with Russia mostly. I feel like that's always like the vibe. China is worse, probably. I mean, or North Korea. We associate North Korea with the secretive, like they don't want any information getting out. We don't know what's really happening. The only shit we have is these fucking satellite photos. Up until more recently, when Trump and him, for whatever reason, have bonded and become fucking golf buddies or something. But by the way, have you ever read the story about how Kim Jong-un said he like completed like a 26, like
he said he shot like a
26
or
something insane like that. It's just a fantastic interview. But yes, it like I'm not totally clear because nobody is on exactly what all the hell is going on in China and some of these camps and how many people exactly are in there. But the estimated numbers are in the millions, man. It's not like a small figure, and it's for religious reasons in a lot of like a million of the Uyghur Muslims. Yeah. And that's fucking not cool. Like, it's really not. That's just generally, like, we all know you can't take people and put them in camps based on their beliefs. That gives you World War II vibes. A lot of people died because somebody thought that was okay before. We don't play that fucking game. Apparently we do. Apparently we fucking do. And now it's fine because we do so much business with China?
Yeah, apparently.
It really is black and white. That simple, though. That's super fucked up. Like, that is a foundational issue in our country, way bigger than the NBA. Way bigger. And it's one of the things that I never really considered until this moment, which, when you rewind it, if Daryl Morey never sends that tweet, we're not having this conversation. And I don't know what the fuck is going on in China camps or Hong Kong or really give a shit. I'm probably talking about the Astros right now.
Which, yeah, I mean, did they win?
Yeah, two games to 1 on the Yankees now, which is huge. But the Hong Kong stuff is also very important, to be sure. But it's just the overall scope of how China is kind of handling both its own citizens and Hong Kong. And for those of you who are even more ignorant than me, which is probably hard to be, Hong Kong there's been months of protests and increasing violence and demonstrations, and police have clashed because there was a proposal that would have allowed extradition from the semi-autonomous territory, Hong Kong, to mainland China. It's a very complicated situation. That was the spark that sort of led to the tweet that led to this huge flame, right? And I understand that it's complicated. And frankly, I understand the ramifications in America and in the NBA. I don't fully understand the situation in Hong Kong. I don't fully understand the situation in China, but I understand the ramifications of speaking out on it very well. And I think I've spent enough time thinking about it and philosophizing about it so that
so now you're a philosophizer.
I'm fit to speak on the matter. And no, social media, America is not blameless. Like, I had all these people lighting me up last night, yelling at me, including several very sexy Chinese propaganda bots that no longer existed this morning, which I was very sad to see. They were yelling like, look at your own country. And I was like, sure, let's. We put people attempting to enter our country illegally, including women and children being separated from their families and shit, into little camps on our borders. those camps generally suck cock. You get a shitty aluminum blanket and stuff. It's stuff that we are not cool with. And generally we call into question as Americans. I think we do a fair, decent job of trying to keep an eye on our government and saying like, what the fuck? Are you serious? When shit gets bad enough to be like human rights bad. We try at the very least, but we do very bad shit here in America. We have plenty of our own problems that we need to solve still. I'm not denying that. We also have a major problem with privatized prisons for profit. That's a major problem. Locking up mostly minorities in droves for shit like marijuana distribution, which is asinine and despicable. So yeah, America is a fucked up place too. That doesn't stop us from pointing to other problems that need to be solved. And it certainly shouldn't make a situation where we're choosing money over morals. And there were other LeBron stans on Twitter coming at me like, well, what do you want him to do? He's not an international diplomat. I never asked LeBron James to be an international diplomat. I simply asked that when push comes to shove, he chooses morality over money. Because I understand his position. I understand how complicated it is. I understand this is a matter of generational wealth to him. It's millions and millions of dollars. This is not like some $500,000 inheritance or some shit. I understand all that. And that's what makes me furious. He took a look at the numbers on the board and he picked them over people. He chose money over morals. You don't get a pass for that. Nobody does. We don't give passes for money over morals, man. I
have a question. Do you think that people whose first time ever watching or listening to the podcast think that this is like a super serious political show?
Yeah, this is all we ever talk about.
If they heard some of the other segments, they would be shocked. But we do get serious sometimes. And
yeah, we do get serious sometimes, and this is one of those times. I mean, if it's something that I feel I am fit to speak on and it's serious, I'm going to speak on it. And if that's mental health, I'm going to speak on it. If it's addiction, I'm going to speak on it. If it's something that I believe is a black and white, right and wrong situation that is being horribly mishandled, not only on a social media level, not only on a PR level, but on like a fundamental belief level, as a country, I'm going to speak on it. And this is one of those times where, like, look, he picked the bag over having real balls, and nobody gets to do that and not get called on it. And I will go so far as to say I have been upset with my own organization, the Houston Rockets' handling of the situation as well, because they put a gag on Harden and Westbrook. When they went up for their first presser after this shit unfolded, they told them they couldn't answer the question. They took the woman's microphone away who asked the question about it.
That's kind of against freedom of speech.
They took the journalist's microphone out of her hand. She was done for the day. They could have just said, lady, that one doesn't work. She kind of insisted. But Westbrook and Harden sitting there like you and me, if we were just like this. Not saying a word. And that upsets me. And that shouldn't be the way it is either. So it's not just LeBron. And I hope that in the future, everyone in the NBA is allowed to speak freely in defense of freedom and in support of oppressed peoples without being punished or lambasted for affecting the bottom line, because that is pathetic. And in the end, if you choose dollar bills over doing right, if you choose money over morals, selfishness over the greater good.
Sorry, when you say morals, do you mean the mushroom?
Yes.
Because I, a lot of times, would probably choose money over morals because I can buy morals with money and pocket the rest of the money.
I guess it depends on the price of the morals and the money, how much money you have in that situation if you're looking to shop.
True. Yeah, because like if I want some morals, I could spend half the money on morals.
What is that? Is it a specific kind of cooking mushroom?
It's the one you forage for. So it looks kind of like netting.
It's the one you forage for.
Yes.
I don't forage for any of them.
Oh, you should start.
You forage for your own mushrooms.
I mean, I have. Yeah.
Like a squirrel.
No, like a pig. You know, they train pigs to find truffles. That's a certain kind of mushroom.
I thought pigs eat out of a trough.
Well, yeah, but they don't eat the truffles. They find them for you, and then you sell them at a huge, huge margin. Because the only margin you have is the feed for the pig.
I can't even tell if this is real.
Oh, this is very real.
If this is actually happening.
We should go forward sometime.
I will have to go back and watch on Twitch to see if this really happened. This conversation right now.
I mean...
You telling me that pigs are trained to find truffles?
Yes.
And that this is an actual thing?
Yes. So it's big in France. They'll train a pig, and here's the deal.
Yeah, you're full of shit.
No, I swear. I swear this is true.
I have a Google machine in front of me, dude. I can find out if you're lying really quickly.
So here's the deal. You can sell truffles for a lot of money, and the only money that it costs you to find it is buying a trowel to dig up the mushroom because it's underground.
Holy shit, they're called truffle hogs.
Yeah.
Any domesticated pig used for locating and extracting the fruit bodies of the fungi known as truffles from temperate forests in Europe and North America.
Thank you.
I thought you were doing one of those weird things where you spiral into a fictional universe where none of it's real and it just goes for minutes and minutes before I figure out what's happening.
No, this is very real, which it's now good. I'm keeping you on your toes.
This could have been our animal of the week.
The truffle hog?
Yeah, it would have been way more friendly than the one we have.
Which is what?
People are going to die.
Wait.
That's a teaser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, now you learned something new today.
Truffle hog.
Do you want to go forage with me sometime?
I'll forage in the forest with you.
I like to forage in a valley.
I would like
Call
to
it
take
valley
forage. A different kind of mushroom before we go to forage for whatever the fuck it is that you want to forage for. Then I'm down.
I would like to find some morels. Personally, I don't have access to a hog at this moment. But I got a hog guy.
We were like 8 words away from closing the segment with no weirdness, and then we truffle hogged.
Yeah, we did.
Hashtag truffle hog. But look, back to my point.
That's actually what we call RBP listeners. Shouts to all the truffle hogs out there.
If you choose dollars over doing right, money over morals, selfishness over the greater good, then you got to stay the fuck away from me because you're the enemy and you're part of the problem, and I will not have that shit, son. This man was thinking about selling Space Jam 2 tickets in China instead of what mattered.
Speaking of Space Jam 2, do you think Porky Pig is a truffle hog?
That is a very good question, Jared.
Thank you very much.
RBP 231 is also brought to you by Manscaped, a fantastic company who is finally providing men with the tools we need to properly maintain our downstairs mix-ups. Are you using a terrible and incorrect tool with which to trim or groom your pubic region, you buffoon? Well, don't feel bad. This is a common issue for men. Most guys straight up don't know what product to use to clean themselves up. In the past, my deal was that I would use my old facial hair razor and try to make that my body hair tool, and that's not what it's made for. You get nicks and cuts and snags. It's annoying. Don't do that. Go with a Lawnmower 2.0 from Manscaped. Everything on their product line was created specifically for a man's distinctive grooming needs below the waist. And you can use the code RBP, just RBP, for 20% off your entire order. You go to manscaped.com to learn more about their revolutionary products. You enter the code RBP when you check out. Grab yourself their complete manscaping system, including the Lawnmower 2.0, a rechargeable waterproof trimmer with skin-safe technology for a nick-free trim. And enter the code RBP when you check out. 20% off your entire order. Your balls will thank you. Bumblebee Tuna. Next segment. Fuck Facebook. By the way, just having this as the title of the segment will literally cost me money. So that's how morally strong I am. LeBron James,
in what sense?
He could learn a lesson from me.
In what sense?
I'm going to be oppressed by the Zuck algorithms on properties that he owns as a result of this headline.
You think, so what if I said, all praise be to glorious Facebook? Is that going to raise us back up?
It might. Let's leave it. And I feel like your statement even might overpower mine and make us more popular. And maybe we're now making more money, making me less moral. No, let's go. Fuck Facebook. Back to where we were. Look, on Friday it was revealed the details of a settlement that Facebook reached in a class action suit alleging that the social media giant overstated the average time its users spent watching video. This has been widely reported, but now the facts that I'm using are from the Hollywood Reporter, and then from I'll read some tweets as well. The gist of it is this. Facebook is paying $40 million to resolve claims, and in the end, what was found is that the average viewership metrics were inflated, in some cases up to 900%. They lied about their viewership metrics in an attempt to get people to pour into video, to invest in video.
Do you know who remembers this? You and me?
Yeah. And it was 150 to 900% in almost, I believe, all cases maybe. They were just straight up lying.
Ross and I were in numerous meetings where people would go, look at what Facebook's doing. They've opened the floodgates on video. If we make video and put it on our large Facebook page, a lot of people are going to see it and we'll make more money. So right now, I want you to stop doing your normal course of work and go and start thinking of video ideas and go and make video content. And we did that.
So what everyone needs to understand is that decisions Facebook was making, especially back in 2013, 14, 15, 16,
which is when Facebook became one of the biggest, if not the biggest, publishing platforms on
It was the biggest by far. And it was a magical time for everyone writing on the internet. We were all seeing a ton of traffic as a result. Facebook was a fantastic platform for readers to share interesting articles and things they found to be funny or cool or whatever.
Yeah.
And it worked as simple as that, right?
So
People
Facebook
posted shit, you would see that shit, and that was it.
So what happened was this: Facebook made a lot of people join groups, like pages for stuff they enjoyed. And this is before it really became a big publishing platform. So if you remember back in high school when I started my Facebook, I'd like this movie. I'd like, this
I like
website,
The Dark
whatever.
Knight.
And you weren't really being served a lot of stuff from brands back then because Facebook was mostly interpersonal. It'd be like, I'd see my friend's status update. I'd see my friend's photo.
They hadn't gone dick deep into monetizing yet.
And the newsfeed wasn't even a thing back then. But then,
Right.
once the newsfeed became a thing, they're like, oh, look at all this attention we have of people who want to talk to their friends. Let's slowly turn that into something that has nothing to do with interpersonal relationships and has to do with us making money.
Yes. So as a result, though, Facebook's shift in strategy and Facebook shutting off the fire hose, if you will, for all this traffic that all these publishers were getting with columns, because that's what they did. They said, no more traffic. You're not going to get any more clicks for these columns unless you pay us.
Yes.
And we want to see video. So everybody shifted.
I'll never forget. So this
Jared,
was
thousands
yes.
of writers were fired.
So this all happened when I was an intern at our old company. So the summer I got there, Facebook went, okay, here's the deal. We want publishers to move all their main publishing platform over to Facebook. And by that, I mean they're obviously going to publish on their website, but they're going to promote what they publish on Facebook.
Yeah, but there were a lot of different phases of this too. They tried many different
Yeah.
iterations of basically at one point they were like, yeah, we want to be your website.
Yeah,
we're going
they
to take
did.
everything.
They
And
did.
we were like, what the fuck is going on?
But they opened the floodgates that one summer of 2014 is when it was. And everybody was doing record traffic, and everybody's like, oh my God, more content equals more money.
And I won't even say that I'm confident they opened the floodgates anymore. I'm confident they were allowing their platform to work as it does if you don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
I think people share things they like, and we were all seeing the benefit of that. And then they shut off the fucking faucet or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's just a slightly different way of looking at it. You see what I'm saying? I don't necessarily think they deserve all the credit. I believe their platform is fantastic. And when it was used the way naturally it should have been used, I believe we were all seeing the benefits of that in both connectivity and in sharing and reading and making money and shit too. And then they said, no, fuck that. Why is everybody else getting dollars we should be getting?
Yep.
And they got selfish and greedy with it. And ever since then, you've seen Facebook become increasingly negatively, have an increasingly negative perspective in the public light, right? Now you've got the Great Hack or whatever documentary. Now you've got memes of Zuckerberg testifying as a fucking robot in front of Congress and shit. Like, it is not a good brand anymore, Facebook. You don't think Facebook, yay, friends and family. You think Facebook taking my data and fucking me. Raw, right? And but that's not how it should be. But what we found out is that the penalty for all this that they did is $40 million.
Absurd.
$40
Absurdly
million.
low.
Much of which will go to attorneys' fees and what is this? Earmarked for plaintiffs' attorneys. What, $12 million? 30% of it is going to go to that shit. So it's even less than it really sounds like. And what this whole thing confirms, again, this is a fact now, that Facebook manipulated their data, which means they lied. It'd be like if I went to an advertiser and I said, I get 700 million downloads a month, and you're going to pay me 40 grand an ad read as a result. I'm Joe fucking Rogan. And they'd go, what? And I'd say, yeah. And they'd be like, well, show us the numbers. And I'd be like, suck my cock. And then they'd never do business with me. But in the case of Facebook, nobody was allowed. You can't tell Facebook, suck my cock. We all needed it. What were we supposed to do? We just have to take what they tell us. And it was a fucking lie. It was a fucking lie. The whole thing was built on lies. And people lost their jobs. And it wasn't just some people.
What is the cost of lies?
Yes, great job, Jared. But brands that were once thriving media companies ceased to exist as a result. And I'm not even just referencing where we worked. We were like a middling fucking college humor style boner joke. Look, everybody shotguns beers when they're in college site. Right? It was great what we had. But I'm talking about brands much bigger than us that ceased to exist as a result of what happened with Facebook and people losing their jobs in all manner of different industries as a result of what happened. So
the ramifications of which are still happening. Like every big media layoff to this day has at least in part to do with that.
Yeah, so
Because the amount of money that people lost during that time, just because you survived it doesn't mean you weren't impacted by it.
right. This thing in the Hollywood Reporter says plaintiffs estimate that had they gone to trial, they may have recovered between $100 million and $200 million in damages, though they also stressed to U.S. District Court Judge Jeffrey White the uncertainty of this result as well as the expensive process, so the judge will decide on approval after examining the fairness of the pact. You can read this full memorandum of everything that unfolded with this online, by the way, if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty of it. But this is the thing that really caught my attention was Scott Galloway on Twitter. It's the tweet that went viral. It was at ProFGalloway. He said the viewership metrics were inflated by 150 to 900%. Whole companies shifted their strategy to video. Companies going bankrupt, people losing jobs. Facebook gets away, and this is the fact that crushes me. Facebook gets away with 0.18% of annual income, 40 million out of their 22 billion, which is a slap on the wrist. And that it's just another example of the exact same fucking problem. Money over morals. It's sad, but so many of our major issues right now are just that we've lost sight of simple right and wrong. It's like everything has gotten so complicated with social media and the fucking internet and the 40 streaming platforms that we all subscribe to, and we've forgotten the simple shit. It is not difficult. If you're at a company where you see somebody above you making a decision based on making an immoral decision based on their financial benefit, you have now a decision to make to either be party to that or exit the fucking company. That's your decision. And if everybody is on board with the dollar bill over everything else, we're fucked.
Blow that whistle.
Do something. Just fucking leave if you don't want to do a Yin Yang Twins song or whatever. But this shit has got to stop. It's just too easy to fix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just too easy to fix. And in the case of the Facebook thing, you and I had such an intimate look at how this directly affected our little company with 50 people, got whittled down to directly as a result of this 20. And then from there, we imploded on our own. But Facebook directly took like 30 jobs off the table. I mean, just with our little shit. And so when you look at it from a big scope, and I mean, we know people who are still unemployed, man, that have not gotten jobs since that.
I think it really all just boils down to like these people at Facebook, they're like, oh, this is what's best for the company. It's business, dog eat dog world. I got to do what's best for my company and my team.
But not when you're Facebook. Not when you're at Facebook. Because you're the biggest goddamn thing. It's the same thing with LeBron.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not just some slapdick, bro. You're LeBron James. You can't just grab the mic and start yapping.
A lot of people are affected by what is done by very important people and very important companies. And when those companies and people do the wrong thing, people get screwed over.
And what we're finding more and more is that there are a lot of these guys, they're guys in a lot of cases, suck. And we need to fucking cycle them out. That's how it works. You get rid of these people. You cycle them the fuck out. Zuckerberg is awful. This guy's awful. Everything about him is terrible. He's a horrible CEO. If he was a CEO of anything else, he would have been removed by the board.
Not Sweet Baby Ray's.
He's trash or WeWork. Have you been reading about WeWork?
Yeah, it's wild.
What the fuck were they doing?
It's
we're not going to get into it.
It was mostly the venture capital group that gave him a bazillion, Buzz Aldrin $1 billion.
Yeah. But then they were like doing the most outrageous things with that money.
Well, then remember, they were good at cutting costs. They stopped giving birthday balloons. I think they saved like $400,000 a year.
That's huge. $400,000 in birthday balloons.
Yes. And then they were making really smart choices. They were good investments as they were buying these buildings and then leasing them back to themselves. That's a solid investment. You don't lose any money. Think about it.
Who on God's green earth thought that was a good idea, wide scale?
Somebody who understands cash flow.
God.
Think of how much money you're making if you're paying yourself.
Hey, you got to spend money to make money. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit.
We work. They're about to bounce back. I think buy now.
You think buy low, sell high.
Buy low, and then pay yourself.
You see opportunity.
I do.
You buy low, but the losses are a tax write-off. Ipso facto, you make money.
You make money on taxes that you paid. It's called a tax refund. Ever heard of it?
Yeah. You know what's funny is we have a sponsor that's like relative to financial shit now. I'm going to read it. RBP 231 is also brought to you by Zapier. Growing a business is obviously very hard work, especially when you're wasting hours every day moving data from emails to spreadsheets to your CRM to wherever. And you wish stuff like that would just happen automatically, right? Without you lifting a finger. Zapier can help. It's the easiest way to automate your work, connects all your business software and handles work for you so you can focus on the things that actually matter. I'll give you an example. We monitor mentions on the RBP Twitter account at Ross Bolen Pod so we can make sure to respond to important tweets from y'all. And we also use Slack to communicate internally between like the accountant department and AJ and our new interns. And with Zapier, I have it set to where every Twitter mention is fed directly into my Slack channel for me and the relevant interns to see, so we can stay on top of that throughout the day and maintain our normal correspondence. But there are thousands and thousands of ways you can use this and automate it, and there's a ton of different ways that it's actually helpful for keeping up with your financial shit as well, especially with like I have my bank account alerts like directed straight to my phone so that I'm fully aware of what's going on there. No more wasting your time on tasks that you know could be automated, because that's exactly what Zapier was built to do. Just go to the special link, zapier.com/RBP. Don't go straight to the App Store. You got to go to this link, zapier.com/RBP. Then you can connect the apps you use most and let Zapier take it from there. They let you instantly engage with leads, send them to a CRM or a spreadsheet, then notify your team so they can act fast on every opportunity if you're in sales, for instance. And that's just scratching the surface. Zapier supports more than 1,500 business applications, so the possibilities are virtually endless. And best of all, it's easy to build the exact solution you need in just minutes without writing code or asking a developer for help. I don't know how to do any of that, and I was able to set up my stuff very, very simply in just a few seconds. Join more than 4.5 million people who are saving an average of 40 hours per month by using Zapier right now through November. Try Zapier free by going to our special link, zapier.com/RBP. That's zapier.com/RBP for your free 14-day trial. Zapier.com/RBP. Next segment, man-eating tiger enters rehab. Mike, can we play the Animal of the Week music live? Do it!
And now, Ross Bolen's Animal of the Week.
Tight. It feels a little weird making this the Animal of the Week because it ate two people. But that's also just nature, baby, and shit happens, and this story is wild. So here we go. According to Yahoo News, a man-eating tiger in Karnataka's Bandipur Reserve Forest. This is in India.
I've foraged there.
Oh, good. You're familiar with the foraging community in this area. This tiger was captured in this area. It ate two people. It was finally captured this most recent Sunday near a place I can't pronounce and won't even try to. After a week-long effort, a week-long tiger hunt went down, which is kind of tight. And I'm sure, isn't there a movie with that premise? I feel like there is.
Week-long tiger hunt?
Yeah, that's the title of it.
I'm pretty sure.
Steven
I'm pretty
Spielberg.
sure you're thinking of Raj World.
Oh yes, and from FAMP.
Yeah.
FAMP. Anyway, this one of the victims this big feline ate was an 80-year-old woman, I believe, which is kind of it's funny.
What?
And sad, but it is kind of. I mean, why, dude? A tiger ate a grandma? What? Come on.
I mean, the world's crazy.
I'm just. That's like we didn't need that. We didn't need that one. We could have gone without that.
I mean, who else did the tiger eat?
I don't know, man. Another tiger? Fuck grandma, dude.
Did the tiger eat another tiger?
No. It ate two people.
Oh.
Okay, so this thing's like 4 to 6 years old. It's been wandering around for over 9 months in this 1 kilometer radius around the boundary of the forest, which is very close to human habitation. It is a serious problem, and then eventually it ate two people. And here's a quote. Luckily, we managed to capture it because the villagers were getting worried as they could neither take their cattle out for grazing nor carry out any cultivation. Problematic for your way of life when you're no longer able to farm and or leave your home. The forest department records said the tiger was responsible for the death of 11 cattle in nearby villages as well. This was Joseph Hoover, an environmentalist involved in the operations to trap the tiger.
Maybe the tiger was an animal rights activist and it was liberating the cattle through death.
I can get with that.
Yeah.
Here's the crazy part of the story, though. The tiger is now being taken to rehab. Not joking. A rehabilitation center in
Is this in China?
In Missouri.
Not in China.
thank
They're not
God, no.
rehabilitating the
Not
tiger.
a re-education camp for tigers.
Yes,
This all came really full circle, didn't it?
it did.
Now we're just putting tigers in camps.
Rest in peace, tiger grandma.
The grandma was not a tiger. It was a human grandma.
I'm not sure I understand the story.
Oh, for the love of God. It's being taken to rehab, though, where it will be treated and kept in captivity for the rest of its life. And over 30 to 40% of the big cats in Karnataka live outside the tiger reserve, which increases the risk of man-animal conflicts. There's this like whole reserve area for tigers where they try to... I don't know how you do... What are they... Hey, you see this rope? Don't cross... Like, what are they doing? How are they keeping the tigers in this reserve area?
Oh, it's simple Law and Order.
Just explaining it
like
verbally.
Hey, so here's where you live, and here's where I live.
Don't cross this tree line here. Don't eat my grandma. She's doing crops and foraging.
Hey, Tiger, I'll tell you right now. If you cross this line, you're gonna kill me. So stay over there.
I don't even know if you gave me a rifle and put a tiger 100 yards away. The tiger's still winning that fight. I'm gonna get one shot into the tiger.
I'm probably just blowing my brains out so I don't have to deal with it.
Or just shooting myself so I don't have to deal with the situation.
Yeah.
But the tiger's gonna take that one bullet probably in stride and eat my face because I'm gonna freak out. Maybe miss the first shot, frankly.
That's actually why I was gonna shoot myself in the face. Is like I don't want the tiger to eat my face.
Have you ever done like target practice with a pistol or a rifle?
I've never shot a gun except in video games.
Okay, cool. Well, Jared, I'll tell you this.
Or airsoft.
Like if there was if you and I are like 7 feet from the wall, 6 feet, 7 feet.
Yeah.
If we put a Coke can on a tree stump and gave you a pistol and told you shoot that, Jared, how confident are you that you could hit it first try?
7 feet away.
Yeah. First try. How confident are you could hit it?
I mean, not confident at all. Because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna be like so scared about the recoil that I'm gonna like hold it way too stiff or way too light. I'll probably do the thing where I shoot it and it comes back and whacks me in the head.
Well, we're not going to do this experiment, but the point is this. It's a lot harder than you would think.
That can I say an anecdote?
Sure.
The highest powered thing I've ever shot was an air rifle. And I mean like a really expensive high-powered air rifle.
An airsoft gun?
No, like an air rifle. Like it could kill birds.
Like the one that they put to a No Country for Old Men to people?
I'm not familiar with the reference, but like an
Javier Bardem goes around...
I don't know what the foomph is.
He puts the cow pressurizer thing to people's foreheads and it blows their goddamn brains out the back and
no,
they
that's
die.
a cow puncher. I don't know. Is that the word?
I thought that was an air gun.
No, that's literally maybe that's a pneumatic gun.
It's a farming thing.
Yeah,
Shout out to the RBP
and that's
farmer
how they
gang.
kill. That's how they kill cows, right?
Yeah, it's
Anyways,
like a humane way to take out cattle.
I'm talking about a legit air rifle.
And
so
humans, it turns out.
It's like it's pretty sure it's spring loaded, but it's not an airsoft gun. Like this thing can kill birds. It could kill like cats and
like
shit.
a pellet gun?
But more high powered. Mike,
what is the ammunition being
about.
put into it?
Is
it a BB? Because it's a BB gun.
Yeah, I think it's, but it's not a BB gun. A BB gun is like, oh, we're gonna go around like the Christmas story shit. No, it's not that. It's high powered, like could kill animals. So I did not know.
This is outrageous. A pellet gun?
Let's not get into the god dang semantics.
It's not a paintball gun. We know that.
Okay.
Air
rifle.
Okay. Yes.
And I was in the backyard, and he's like, this is a guy I knew, and he's like, hey, so. You want to shoot this? And
I just made it weird, but yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't know how to. I didn't know.
I'm just a fucking guy.
I didn't know how to explain the relationship quickly, so I just blew by
Was it your boyfriend? Like you just don't want to fucking tell us, or what?
It was a guy that I know.
Okay.
And so I was in the backyard, and I was wearing clothes. If you're wondering.
Okay.
So.
I wasn't. But.
Yeah. I went to shoot it, and it had a scope and everything. Like it was legit. Like it's as legit as you can get without being a gun.
I believe you, dude. Whatever. I'm sorry for emasculating your fucking air gun.
Yeah, thanks. I was wearing clothes at the time. So I go and I put my eye up to it. And when I say my eye up to it, I mean I literally put my eye onto the scope like it was Call of Duty because I didn't know that you didn't do that.
First time you look, you don't know what you're doing. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, when I'm sniping in Halo, my guy puts his head close and then boom, all he sees is what's through the scope.
Yeah.
That must be how it is.
That's not how it works. No.
It's really not. As
it's
I found
actually
out.
difficult. Yeah.
So what happens is this air rifle had a lot of recoil. So I put the scope up and I did the classic thunk. And
shoot your
I got
eye out.
blasted in the freaking eye with the scope of this air rifle.
You've seen A Christmas Story. You referenced it
Yeah,
moments
and
ago.
I got a black eye because I got blasted in the face with an air rifle scope.
Well, it could have been worse. It could have been an icicle when you were trying to take out Bad Bart or whatever that dude's name was in the backyard.
Do you ever see the videos of women shooting like Colt 45s and they hold it in front of their face and they shoot it and the gun is humongous and it comes and whacks them?
Is
And
this like a fetish category on
no,
Pornhub?
this is one of the first viral videos. I feel like.
Is this like the new wave? It's like stepchildren are out, but we're gonna do pistol people hitting themselves with pistols.
I'm talking about like the what's his name, Danny DeVito or
Oh yeah, I know Danny DeVito.
with the really long gun. The Joker, is it Penguin?
Yeah, Penguin.
Massive, comically large gun, and they shoot it and it just
But-
boom and it knocks him out.
Joker also had one at one point. Old school Joker, Batman in the '90s. Jack Nicholson Joker had like a comically large long pistol. I
Maybe
believe.
that's what I was.
But when he
referring to.
pulled it, I think it said bang. I think
Oh.
Penguin's version was like for real. He was fucking. Yeah, it was like, oh, was it an umbrella?
Umbrella
Producer
gun?
Mike said.
Umbrella gun.
Yeah, I think it did actual murder.
Well, yeah. So that was my experience with an air rifle, and I do not think I could hit a Coke can on a tree stump 7 feet away.
No, okay, well, so mine was like my uncle handed me a pistol, and we were like out fucking around on his ranch, which is like the most Texas shit I've ever said. My uncle handed me a pistol
On his
But-
ranch.
On his ranch, but yeah, this is like once a year. And I like the only gun I have is a shotgun. My father-in-law gave me. I don't even have ammo for it. So like, if you break into my house, I'm gonna beat your ass to death with it. Just letting you know, straight up. Anyway, my uncle was like, "Here's this pistol," and he was like, "I'm gonna attach this like fucking silencer to the end of it." And I felt like James Bond. I was like, "This is sick." And I don't know why he has a silencer, and if that's illegal, I'm sorry, Uncle Tommy, for throwing you under the bus.
You could have just not said the name of the uncle.
I have to be specific. I don't want my other uncles being hit up by the what is it called? The Rifles, Firearms, and Fast Food Association. What is it?
Of America.
Of America. You've
Of
seen that movie?
Of America of Texas.
You've seen that movie of America of Texas? Thank You for Smoking.
I've
You've seen
not.
it? Oh,
I've-
well,
I've-
it's
is it
about
good?
that group and like lobbyists and shit. Anyway, he handed me this pistol, and I'm feeling fucking like just biggest dick I've ever had. And he puts a paint can like 6 feet away from me. I mean, we're talking kid shit. And I, stand there. I'm like, all right, let's go. And I didn't do like sideways like a gangster or anything like that. I tried to be a fucking like normal adult, responsible pistol shooter about it. I emptied the whole clip and didn't hit the fucking thing. Just nothing. And then he walked up and was like, yeah, good effort. And like took one shot and the paint can exploded. And he kind of like walked back sad that like, I'm just another like,
He had his head down.
I'm just another thing in life that's let him down.
He had his head down and he just threw the gun over his shoulder into a trash can, and then it hit the bottom of the trash can, shot a bullet out, and that also hit the paint can.
Okay, yes, but we've been talking about. I brought this up yesterday to Mike. I feel like my producer Mike and I have had this conversation 4 times now. But have you watched Grouch, the SNL trailer for the parody of Joker?
No.
It's one of the funniest sketches they've ever done. It stars Hopper from Stranger Things as Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street. And the premise is it's Oscar the Grouch's slide. It's a human being's slide into becoming Oscar the Grouch, just like the Joker's slide into becoming the Joker. And you will piss your pants.
Have you seen Joker yet?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yes. Yeah, we did like a full review on OCC. It's incredible. Yes. I fucking thoroughly enjoyed it. You haven't seen it yet, I
I've
take
not
it.
seen it. No.
Get your ass to the theater, Jared. Get your ass to the theater. RBP 231 is also brought to you by Indochino. Indochino was founded on the belief that you don't need to spend a fortune on a custom wardrobe. If you've never owned a made-to-measure suit, if you've always worn generic off-the-rack trash suits like a trash human, you have no idea what you're missing, and Indochino is about to change your whole perspective on shit. Indochino is the world's most exciting made-to-measure menswear company. They make suits, shirts, coats, and more. Everything made to your exact measurements for a great fit. It is super cool going through the process myself. I got to go into their, we have an Indochino here in Austin out at the Domain, and I got to go in and get measured up, and going through that process of getting a custom dress shirt made with them was incredible. Like that feeling the first time you put on a brand new dress shirt, every part of which was created to your exact specifications and requests. It is glorious. It feels so good. And you get to personalize all the details, including your lapel, lining, and your own monogram. They have hundreds of suit options for all occasions, including work, formal events, even your own wedding, if need be. And the best part is they're affordable. Indochino, almost all their custom clothing is under $400 USD. The process is simple yet baller. You choose your fabric, you pick your customizations, you submit your measurements. Your package will be delivered straight to your door in 2 weeks. Simple as that. And then if you want to, you can get measured and design your suit at your nearest Indochino showroom. or do it all yourself online at Indochino.com. It's completely up to you. Start your style upgrade now with $30 off total purchase of $399 or more at Indochino.com during the code RBP at checkout. Plus, shipping is free. That's Indochino.com, promo code RBP for $30 off your total purchase of $399 or more. An incredible deal for made-to-measure clothing. You really have no excuse anymore to wear clothing that doesn't fit. J-Bone, what's up? What are you looking at?
Well, big NFL news.
What happened?
You probably already saw this, but I didn't until right now.
I did.
Jalen Ramsey
No, what?
traded.
No. To where?
The Rams.
Yes, out of my division.
There you go.
Love that.
For 2 first-round picks
Oh,
and a 4th-round pick in 2021.
he's a corner.
Compare that to the Khalil Mack trade, and John Gruden looks like even a bigger dumbass.
Dude, yeah, but dude, Jalen Ramsey, I don't know if you cough up first-round picks for a corner.
Maybe like Daryl Revis in his prime.
Okay, what
who
are the
can
Rams?
actually,
I'm
like,
trying to
shut
think.
down.
The Rams' other corners, if this is like the third in a trio of superstars and now they're never going to get passed on ever, then it's a totally different deal. But still, that's
look
kind
up-
of surprising to me.
Let's look up who the Rams' corners are.
Like,
and
don't get me
safeties.
wrong, Jalen Ramsey is cold, but I think he's a little bit overrated. Like, it's similar to the Richard Sherman thing. You remember back in the day when Richard Sherman got built up to be like the cornerback god, and then anytime you saw a pass completed against him, you were like, Richard Sherman's not that good after all. That happens to me every week with Jalen Ramsey now. Like, when the Texans played them, he was getting picked apart at one point.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Here's
We did lose that game, I believe.
the Rams' defense is stacked now, even more. Jalen Ramsey, Michael Brockers, Dante Fowler Jr., Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald's like 8 people. You
Clay
could just
Matthews.
say Aaron Donald.
Clay Matthews past his prime, but Aqib Talib, Eric Weddle.
Yeah.
This defense is incredible.
Damn. I'm just happy he's out of the division because he's fucking terrifying. But I'm also sort of bummed we didn't
God.
somehow reel him in there. I would have enjoyed a good reeling. I'm trying to see if we lost to the Jaguars before I end the show saying we lost to the Jaguars when we didn't lose to the Jaguars, because that would be devastating. So give me 1 second.
Yeah.
And
In the meantime, I'll shouts to Rams right tackle Rob Havenstein, or Havenstein, I'm not really sure, Wisconsin legend.
we won by 1 point.
There you go.
We beat Gardner Minshew. We did it. Good for us,
Why
Texans.
did you keep calling him Minshew?
Is that not his name?
It's Gardner Minshew. You just read it. You kept calling him like a Minshew and Minshew.
Minshew.
Yeah, you
men's shoes.
Men's shoes. Men's shoes.
Men's shoes. Before you head out to take on the world, it's time for some very important announcements. First off, you want more RBP? There's only one place you can get it, patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. Our hotline call extravaganza for October is already available. Our guest episode for October, I believe, is coming next week. And when you join on Patreon, you immediately gain access to our entire backlog. September, all the months that preceded September.
Can I clear the air
That's
here?
the only one I can remember.
A lot of people have been hitting me up because they like, hey man, like Ross always talks about a backlog. That's another name for a big shit, right?
Uh-huh.
A backlog.
No, but what? Uh-huh.
That's what everybody keeps hitting me up about. So I want to clear the air. A backlog is not a big fat dump. It's the old episodes of RP.
So you were taking it like when you get backed up and then your poop is huge as a result.
Yeah, and it's like a log that comes out of your back. A lot of people hit me up about this. Wanted to clear the air, so you're welcome.
Isn't that like a weirdly satisfying feeling, taking a huge shit? Like, it shouldn't be. You're disgusting, and you've created a massive amount of waste because you ate a massive amount of things you didn't need, and your body expelled them as a result. But there's some pride in that.
I mean, I think it's mostly like
It's
like
the Randy thing from South Park. You remember the episode where he enters the competition to take the biggest shit in the world? You remember the
I
episode?
haven't seen that one.
Oh my God. He at one point is literally, he's sitting on a toilet and his poop is so large, the pile underneath him is growing so large that he's spinning upward into the air as if he was in a chair that could be raised upward. It's one of the funniest things I've
Wow.
ever seen on television, ever, which tells you a lot about my sense of humor and where I'm at in life.
I think I agree with you. I'm not going about that reference, but like when you're in the movies and you're like holding in a pee for like an hour and a half because you don't want to miss any
That's
of the movie.
terrible. That's torture.
It's terrible. But then when you pee afterwards, it's the most relief I think you can feel.
It is. You know what's fucked up, man? And this is the last thing I'll say, and then we'll leave. Some of the worst moments of my entire life were because I had to pee so bad.
Yes.
on party buses in college.
Yes, that's my
fucking
worst memory.
sorority date parties and shit. I'm not joking. Worse,
No,
I've been
I
in
totally
some really
agree.
bad situations.
I have
dude.
too. One time I made an entire party bus with 70 people on it. Stopped the second it got into the fairgrounds to let me out to pee.
Oh no, I mean like I've
And
done meth off a toilet seat, and then I'm telling you, still worse moments. Party
Oh.
buses having to pee.
That's
Worse.
That's not good.
Much worse. That's the worst pain in the world. No one should have to feel that. It's hell.
I want to appeal to the Denverites who may listen to the show. I'm sure there are like at least 2, right?
Is that what they call people in Denver?
Denveronians.
I believe I'm going to Denver. Shouts to Denver in next month.
Oh, do that live podcast.
No, for a work trip. Like unrelated to what?
I was trying to like
Hype something that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm trying to gaslight
You're
your
a fucking
listeners.
idiot.
Okay, so there's if you ever take driving out to Arapahoe Basin on a
What?
it's the closest ski area to Denver.
Okay.
If you're ever driving out there, on the weekends, it gets really, really, really. There's one highway. It's like a small highway that goes out there, and it gets really, really backed up because everybody in Denver wants to go because it's really close and you can do a day trip.
Okay.
And so it's normally probably like an hour and a half drive, but it becomes like a 2.5 hour drive because of the traffic, and there's nowhere to pee.
Okay.
So if you have to pee at some point on that drive, which you know it's pretty normal, you can't, and you need to go and pee on the side of the highway.
That is not a problem. A problem is being on a bus that won't stop and you have nothing to pee in.
I've made the bus driver stop so I could pee.
Yeah, but that normally didn't work, dude. People were like, sit the fuck down.
Part of the reason why it worked.
I'm sure everyone was super pissed at you.
No, they actually cheered for me when I got off, which maybe we said more about how annoying I was than being happy for me.
Yeah,
getting
your perspective has changed a little bit now that you've had some time to breathe, huh? 7 years
I
removed.
never really thought about that.
7 years removed, you're like, were they cheering for me or at me?
I get off the bus. They're all cheering. I turn around. Yeah, we did it. And they're like, no, fuck you.
He's finally gone. Yeah, fuck Jared.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Damn.
if you have to pee right now, you should go. You should just go. Unless you're in China, where you probably need to ask some type of permission for that thing or in a preschool or a middle school classroom, any classroom really. Do you have to ask to piss in college? Some professors made you. Others they would just say just go. Others would say nobody can go ever during my fucking lecture.
In college, I didn't have a problem with people like just walking out. I mean, people are.
I don't get distracted by that. I
Most
wasn't
people are
listening
also
before.
just on their laptops, like playing World of Warcraft in classrooms these days, or Fortnite.
The shit
Fork knife.
I would love to go sit in the back of a college classroom for just a full day, you know, just jacking it
Yeah.
back there
What?
and watch what everybody else has got up on their screens and jack it. And I just want to see, you're going to see Warcraft, you're going to see porn, you're going to see like illegal sports betting, you're going to see some kid building like a fucking Bitcoin website or like trying to mine for Bitcoins or some shit. You didn't even have a laptop when we were in school.
Really?
The computer hadn't even been invented yet.
When? How old are you?
32.
Oh.
Do the math. Do the math. If you like today's show, please rate. Oh, no, it's not a question. I'm not requesting. If you're new here, you have 2 legal obligations as a result of having listened to this entire podcast that you've been saddled with unknowingly. First, you must rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts. If you didn't like it, don't bother. If you loved it, 5 stars and 2 or 3 sentences about why you like the show. You can listen on Spotify or SoundCloud or wherever you want. I don't have a problem with that. I would just appreciate it if you rate and review. Specifically on Apple Podcasts, don't ask questions. Just do as you're told. Number 2 is to tell one person, whether it be a friend, a family member, a coworker, a neighbor, any one individual you can think of that you're like, man, this person would enjoy some RBP. Share the podcast with them in whatever method you see fit. Maybe that's sending them a link to Spotify so they can follow us. Maybe that's sending them your favorite episode off Apple Podcasts or a video from our Instagram account or some shit. Whatever you see fit, do your thing. Check those 2 boxes. I'll call off the dogs, and we won't have to see each other in court. We can all live long and prosper. Follow us on Instagram at the Ross Bolen Podcast, on Twitter at Ross Bolen Pod, or on Facebook somewhere if you're the middle-aged aunt of one of our listeners, although I would advise you to just delete your account. Follow me, Ross Bolen, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at WRBolen. And if you're watching Succession, if you watched Succession.
So I have half of the season finale yet. Do not spoil it. Go
Okay,
on.
no spoilers. We covered it in full on OCC this week. Oysters, Clams, and Cockles is our television and movie podcast here at Bolen Media that I host with my friend Barrett Dudley. Our Succession coverage was, in my opinion, bar none. And I thought our episode about the finale was among my favorites, so go give that a listen as well. And Jared, where can we follow you and tell us about your your cool social media account that people don't realize that you have.
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at Jared Borislow, as well as on Twitter at Jared Borislow, and you can also follow me on Instagram at Tinder Convos. It is a comedy account that I run with funny dating app conversations. Also, I have a what's it called? Task.
A task.
A task, yes.
Hopefully not
it's
for
an
me.
experiment. It's not for you. It's
Thank
it's an
God.
experiment. DM me on Twitter. I want to just see how many people are gonna DM me if I say that on
Oh,
here.
you fucked up. That was a mistake.
Just no DM. I will respond to you if you DM me
I'm
on
gonna
Twitter.
give you over under of 100.
There's no way 100 people
I'm
are
gonna
gonna
give you the over
little
under.
old me at Jared Borislow on Twitter. I will respond to you.
Please blow this idiot up. You
There's
think
no
he-
way it's more than 100. I'm gonna say
do you-
34.
Do you know how many people listen to the show every week?
Is it 3 billion?
No, but it's enough to
the
not.
entire population of
enough to-
China.
I did this. I made this mistake 3 months or no, fuck that. Like the first episode of the show when there was like a few thousand people listening. I was like, yeah, hit me up anytime you want on DMs. I'll be available. And I, at the time, was able to respond to most of those. And now, for years, my life has been a living hell because I'm fucking buried in there, man. I'm like Chrissy fucking Teigen. You ever wonder why Chrissy Teigen doesn't respond to the 100 DMs you send her a night? It's because they're buried by some other slapdick. John Legend. Fucking with my swag.
He is.
Oh, man. We should...
That's just you projecting how she hasn't responded to your repeated request to get her on the show, right? That's you're projecting?
No, I'm not, I was fucking around. I have not DM'd her like 100 times, like maybe twice, and she didn't respond. And I know it's because I'm buried. She didn't see it and ignore me. You know? That'll do it for RBP 231. Recorded and produced by Mike Moody and Grant Davis at Permanent Record Studios in Austin, Texas. I'm barely holding it together. We'll be back, what is today? We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow?
I think so.
Wednesday, actually. Yeah, we'll be live on Twitch again around 6:30 p.m. CST. If you're watching on twitch.com/bossrollin, holler at us. Come back tomorrow. And thank you for supporting. Video will also be available.
I feel like most people listening is going to be on tomorrow because this is a night podcast. So if today for you is Wednesday,
Yeah.
October 15th,
Then
wait,
today.
16th, then today.
Then today we're going to
Tonight.
be on twitch.com/bossrollin at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. And you can watch it.
You can also donate me $10 for a sub,
Don't do that.
A
Don't
hoagie.
donate anything to Jared.
a hero sandwich.
Jared doesn't need anything from you except the DM. Except
Under 100.
if you have not caught any of this video on Twitch, if you don't have the ability to watch us live, if perhaps for some reason we're like we're dancing for a second just for the people who are there. If for whatever reason you're not able to watch us live, then you can go to patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast, where every fucking episode of this show is going to be uploaded in video form for the dues-paying members of the RBP gang, and of course our OGs. Thank you so much
You
for
say
y'all's
deuce
support.
paying? They pay you in their feces?
Dues, D-U-E-S, you buffoon. You're the idiot who nicks and cuts and snags his balls because he's not using Manscaped because he's a buffoon.
Do you know who
You're
I also
bloody
am?
sack. Who else are you?
I'm the truffle man.
Okay. What else? What do I say at the end? Oh, yeah. Every episode will be available in video on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. And for the time being, and we're still working out some of the glitches and working on some of the stuff on Twitch. So if my voice or whatever was off from my lips today, if that happened, Mike, I don't know if it did. We're still working on that, and we'll have everything as smoothly running as we can, as soon as we can. But we're really doing it.
It's happening.
We're really doing it
It's
with video
we're
and
here.
shit. It's
We're
really
here.
fun. I'm excited. Podman gets paid. Strength and honor. Gang, gang, gang. Peace be with you. And also with you.
Go low, baby! Don't sound like it.
Peace be with you, and also with you.
Go low, baby.